Hello, you awesome people. Rick here again. I wanted to talk to you about something that breaks one of my golden rules, but I think is important anyway. So one of my golden rules of game development is prototype first, make it ugly, figure out the mechanics, and then put polish and art to it after that. Don't go and start creating fancy assets when you're still figuring out what the heck is the game. Because, for example, if you're making a game where there's combat and you're like, we're going to have a lot of slashing because that'll be cool, and blocking, and then you play it and you're like, blocking kind of sucks, let's remove it. And the artist is like, man, come on. Or if you're the artist, you're like, dang, I just put 2 weeks into doing these beautiful block animations. How can I use that somewhere else? Maybe there'll be an attack where you kind of wave your arm. Oh, that looks silly. So anyway, that's one of my golden rules. Wait until you've got the game locked in before you start making final assets. However, I remember seeing a talk at one of the game conferences I went to many years ago. It's stuck in my head. The guy was saying, I forget his name, apologies for that. If he's watching, he'd be like, hey, that was me. Come on, man, some credit. Sorry about that, whoever you are, mysterious person. What he was saying was, don't leave all of your polish until the end. Take a day to put in some sexy in your game early on. And something I've been doing recently is I've been teaching myself particle systems in Unity just for fun, just because I think particles are just, maybe I'm just one of those weird people. I see particles and bling. I love bling, like explosions and fires and smoke and swirls. And for me, you can turn an okay experience into a magical experience with particle effects. So I love it. And it's something that it's a bit of a hobby, right? So if you get there, you're working on your game and you're following, Rick's rule of make it ugly until you've locked in the mechanics. Take a day to shove in some particle effects, or to put in some nice art, or to put in a more polished animation, or put in something that looks good, so that as you're going along in this kind of gray, bland game, which is what you'll be doing if you're white boxing or gray boxing, put in something that's sexy so you feel good about it, right? Give it a little bit of a polish, give it a little bit of zing, and you'll be surprised, well, you might not if you've done this, but if you haven't done this, you'll be surprised how it renews your confidence in your product, renews your energy about working on it, because you've been seeing the same thing day in, day out. Now you're seeing something that looks kind of sexy, so give it a try. And I recommend particle effects. If you've got a character, put some dust coming behind it. If you're doing attacks, put some explosions. It's okay if you put something that's a bit over the top and then you have to dial it down later on. Maybe you've got an enemy, when the enemy spawns or appears, have a gigantic explosion. Maybe when you click on something, have particles flying around. Maybe just having in just ambient, floaty, if you've got a game where you're running around, through a world, have just floating sparkly things just floating through the environment. Give it a try. Chuck in some particles. If you're working in Unity or Unreal or any sort of tool or engine, you can come across existing stuff. You don't have to make it from scratch. If that's not your thing, you don't have to go learn how to make it. Just grab some, spend a little bit of money or grab some free ones, chuck it in and give it a shot. Anyway, quick thought for you guys. I know some of you are doing it tough. You've been working on your game for a long time. You're like, how do I stay fresh with this? Stay fresh by adding a bit of polish and keep fighting the good fight. Keep working on your game. I look forward to playing your game real soon. If you've got a game you've recently released, throw a link down in the comment below this. I love checking out what you guys have been up to, particularly if you've got a video I can have a look at, then I can have a look at it and be like, that's kind of cool. And I will see you in the next video.